All right, we are live. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with a special Saturday afternoon live examination featuring the one and only Michael Kormeroff, aka the Beer Baron. Welcome, Michael.
It's always good to be with you, John.
Michael has recently returned from a trip to Greece. He's been drinking a lot of light beers and lagers, so we're ready to get back into the heavy-hitting barrel-aged stouts today. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We both have barrel-aged stouts, and I'll let you lead off and let everybody know what you got.
Okay. This is from 6 Point, and this is their Black is Beautiful. This beer was canned on my daughter Bryce's birthday, the 7th of March of 2021, which means it has 4 years in the can plus. So, again, as we've discussed in the past, John, the only problem that I've ever seen in any of these cans that you hold for a long period of time is sometimes the carbonation does not hold up as well as it does in either the bottles that you seal. You know, some of the bottles, you put the extra wax on the outside to keep the oxidation out or whatever it is.
Right.
But with these, now again, I've said this before, I bought a whole bunch of this, and I only have 2 left. This is one of 2. So I'll still have one of these left. And for the most part, they've been good. I can't complain, but I'm going to open it up and pour it.
All right.
And I have a bigger glass to give it some room to open up too. So let's see what we got here. Well, certainly looks good.
Motor oil.
Very dark. And it's funny how you look at it and it's definitely dark brown, but when it goes in the glass, it really looks black because let's see what it actually looks like here. Now, a lot of times with these higher alcohol beer, the head does come out and it's one of these quick fade variety. You just watch the head right now and it came out. It was like half a finger. And I don't know if you can tell right now, it's like going. It's like it's fading a little bit here and there. I know it's hard with a beer that's 14%, I guess, to hold the head because there's so much, alcohol in there.
Right.
Definitely dark brown, but you can't see through it. And it looks like there's a lot of carbonation there, so that's a good sign.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good. Here, I'll pour mine up real quick, and then we'll get into it. So what I've got is a beer that I've never had before. I was really happy to find it. Been looking for it for some time now. But from Sierra Nevada, this is the barrel-aged Norwal, aged in bourbon barrels for nearly a year, and clocks in at 11.9% alcohol. And this was canned on December 13th, 2024. So, get 7 months on it. So, not quite going on a year, but I think it's going to be good regardless. It was sitting in bourbon barrels for almost a year before they canned it. So, all right,
let's see what it looks like. Yours is also jet black, the way it looks like it's coming out too.
Oh yeah. Well, it can have like a it poured funny. It kind of dripped down the side there. Let me clean that up before it gets all sticky. Okay. So yeah, this is what it looks like in the glass.
So your head is much more nice, full-bodied head.
I think a lot of that is the glassware. When you use these schooner or tulip glasses, you get a little bit more head than when you use the wide rim glass. It's kind of interesting. The head, you can see it's got some big bubbles, some little bubbles. It's not as creamy of a head as I thought it would be. It's kind of like a mix between frothy and creamy. Going on beige, I would say. The color and the appearance, very, very dark brown. You can see just a little bit of brown on the bottom, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, today we'll just say that it's pretty much jet black in the glass. You cannot really see much light at all going through there. And I'm already getting
Starting to smell the bourbon a little bit.
a lot of, as soon as I cracked the can and started pouring it, I smelled bourbon. So let's go ahead and get into these here. I'm going to blow you up and put the banner down there so everybody knows what you're drinking.
Again, you notice now there still exists a head. It didn't completely go away, but from here where it started down to just like a rim head right now. And similar look to yours, other than the fact the head isn't as good or as big, but also very dark brown. You definitely can't see through it in light. And let me get a nose on it. My lead taste in this is the vanilla. Now, on the side of the can, it says double oak imperial stout aged on vanilla beans. Oh, all right. I came back. We had a little drift there for a quick second. I came back. So I'm getting vanilla on the nose. I also can smell some of the bourbon as well, and I'm getting a little bit of oak in mine as well. Pretty intense taste, considering it's been 4 years in the can. But again, it's barrel aged, so it's going to be holding it, I guess, a little bit better than if it was just a straight stout or imperial aged stout that doesn't have bourbon in it. I guess I'm salivating. I want to get a sip of this. So cheers, John.
Take a sip. Cheers.
Okay, well, this one's held up. The carbonation is still good. Get a lot of the vanilla. You get some of the bourbon, the barrel. I can't remember from this one in the past if this one did have dark fruit in it. I'm not getting that now. So it's mostly vanilla and bourbon, a little bit of barrel. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing. The alcohol is very well masked for 14%. Like if you were to drink this and not know what it is, you probably would think that it's about 10. You could tell just by the general look and whatever, and that it's a heavy hitter, but you wouldn't realize it's as high as 14. So right off the bat, they've done a good job of, I didn't mention there's sweetness. Now, I assume the sweetness is a combination of the vanilla and maybe the bourbon, because bourbon is a sweet alcohol. So there is sweetness in this, but it's not cloying sweetness. It really seems to be well balanced too.
And the vanilla beans, isn't it like Madagascar vanilla beans that they use, like the real deal?
I think so. So you can tell that they must use a lot of vanilla in it, because that's really the lead nose and the lead taste. But you can also tell that it's barrel aged, because the bourbon is part of the deal in between. And like I said, I bought a case of them. I had 24 at one time. I gave some away, so I didn't keep all of what I had. I know I gave Doug one. I gave some other people as well. So, but it's been a long time. This was purchased during the pandemic. So 6 Point during the pandemic, I guess, wanted to get rid of some of the stock I guess they had. So they gave, if you bought a whole case of it, I think they gave you 20% off for buying 24 cans. So
Michael, I'm going to mute myself for a second just because I'm getting a call from George. My wife's in Georgia. Just
okay, gotcha.
Give me just a sec.
Gotcha. Enjoying drinking this? Very well balanced. It's as good as I remember it. I'm happy that the carbonation has stood up where some of these cans in the past have not held up as well as this one has, and I'm very happy. And as you can see from looking at it, the head, I guess it's still holding up as well as it did. And
okay, sorry about that. I had my stepson's down in Georgia, and I had to DoorDash him some food. So
okay,
I was dealing with that. So
okay.
anyway, you were talking. Sorry about that.
I was saying what I was saying is it's held up as well as some of the other ones on the good side of it, in that the carbonation is fine. And this is something you can't get anymore because they don't brew them anymore. But if somebody were to give you one of these that they saved or whatever, it's a good example of a vanilla infused beer with the bourbon together. Very well balanced. And they say double oaked. I guess that you do get some oak in the taste as well. So it's
right.
It's well made. The sorry thing about 6 Point, not that it's something you wouldn't have expected, since they've been taken over by this conglomerate, it doesn't seem like they have more than just their regular lineup that you see that they sell. And I haven't seen any, exotic things from 6 Point anymore, because this came out before they were, brought into this combination with the other conglomerate, Victory and Southern Tier. They're all together in this conglomerate. So, I guess they look to make more profit on what they've already developed, and they probably don't have much of a outside division that's brewing, more exotic things, the kind of things we'd be looking for. So
yeah,
it's kind
exactly.
of sad in that way, but we'll have to see.
All right. Well, I'm going to get into mine here in just a second. I want to go to the comments really quick. We've got Ethan. He's down in Georgia. He's got a really good YouTube channel as well. Does beer reviews and like music reviews and stuff like that. Go check him out. Ronald J. Terrio's in the chat. The Brooklyn man with the mustache. That's right. Ethan says doesn't drink stouts a lot in the summer. That's understandable, but if you're drinking them and inside where it's nice and cool in the AC, you should be good. There you go. The Grease Traveler. Miscellaneous is in the chat as well. Ronald says, yep, the legendary Norwal. I've had the Norwal many times, but never had the barrel-aged Norwal, so about to get into it here now. And Miscellaneous has a barrel-aged porter. All right. You should drink it, Miscellaneous. Drink along with us. Okay, so I am going to start talking about mine here. So 11.9%. I will say that this one does kind of smell a little boozy, but in a good way. A lot of bourbon right up front. Some dark chocolate, some caramel, oak, vanilla. Dark fruit with this too, kind of like some I'm going to go fig. I think it's more fig than date. It smells really good, but if you take like a really deep inhalation, it almost kind of cinches the nostrils a little bit. I think it's just it's kind of boozy in that regard, but it smells really nice, really complex. So I'm salivating, so let me go ahead and get into my cheers.
Cheers, John.
As you can see, though, there's still a little bit of head left, too, which is impressive for a barrel-aged 11.9%.
Cheers, enjoy.
That's really nice. I will say, though, based on the aroma, it didn't, like, I'm definitely getting the barrel, but it's not as in my face as I thought it was going to be. I do get a little bit of barrel right up front, a little bit of that wood, a little bit of vanilla, dark chocolate. But what really is kind of standing out is the roasted malt character is really intense with this, which kind of balances out that barrel presence. It's not as boozy on the palate as one might think based on the aroma. Really nice. Let me get another sip. Some dark fruit. That fig comes through. A little bit of cherry as well. I wasn't detecting that on the nose, but there's definitely like a little bit of a dark cherry note in there, which is lovely. Um, Man, this is good. The alcohol is masked much better than I thought it would be. Carbonation is, not probably on the lower side of medium. It's there, but it's not flat by any means. But it's, you know, you're not going to get a super charged barrel aged stout just because of the time that it's sitting in the barrels alone, almost a year aged in bourbon barrels. So just that alone is going to kind of diminish the carbonation a little bit. The body is not super heavy. I would say it's kind of on the medium side. It's not super thick, syrupy, viscous. It doesn't really linger, kind of cling to the inside of the palate or anything like that. The finish is pretty short-lived and drying as you swallow it down. So it's pretty inviting in that sense. You kind of want to go back in for another sip. It's not as sweet as a lot of other barrel-aged stouts are. You do get a little of vanilla and dark chocolate. And like I said, the cherry and the fig, but it's not cloyingly sweet, or it's not overly sweet at all. It's nicely balanced. There's even just a touch of like astringency from the roasted malt, or maybe from the hops they're using as well, but there's just a slight kind of astringent note on the back end, kind of like you get with, like a nice deep roast coffee or something. It's not super bitter or anything, but there is a little bit of that almost coffee type note from the roasted barley malt. This one is really nice. I think the can was like $8, and it's a 16-ounce can. So not a bad price at all for a bourbon barrel aged stout that's been aged in bourbon barrels for a year. Is this on the same level as like Bourbon County? Maybe not quite, but it's up there. I mean, it's good. It's really good.
John, do you see any similarity to the non-barrel aged narwhal in any way?
Okay, this is much better than the non-barrel aged, because the non-barrel aged beers, they don't have any sweetness from the barrel aging. They're more roasty. They're more bitter. They're typically, the hops come through a lot more because they don't mellow out as they're sitting and aging in barrels. So I found the regular Norwal to be very enjoyable, but it didn't have the complexity that this beer has because it wasn't barrel aged. It was mostly roasted malt, some dark chocolate notes, and the hops came through a lot. With this one, the hops are very minimal, and the barrel comes through, and then the dark fruit and the sweetness from like the cherry flavor and the fig and the vanilla that you get from the barrel aging as well. That's not in the original Norwal. You don't get those vanilla notes from the oak. So this is like, it's a different level. That I hate to compare like non-barrel aged stuff to barrel aged stuff because they're really just a different class of beer. Like not right. Similar at all to the original Norwal.
The non-barrel aged one, they don't have as big a top end as the barrel aged. The barrel aged ones can come much further based on the fact they've been in the barrel that long, which gives them a chance to mature and and get better. And 6 Point doesn't tell you how long, or never did, that these cans were in the barrel. So I don't know, but I would assume it's less than the year almost year that yours is. This might be 6 months or something. Because I don't think they were their barrel aging program, I don't think was as intense. But I still think
that was that program, the Black is Beautiful program. A lot of different breweries did it. So they kind of came together and put out beers pretty quickly. So you figure it probably was only a few months just because of the time crunch. All these breweries were putting out these beers at the same time.
Do you remember, John, the name of the base beer that 6 Point brewed their first, when they came into the barrel age with their first barrel age program? They had and I can't think of it offhand.
Are you talking about the Master Blend stuff?
Yes. So I have a feeling that it's possible that could be the base beer that's in this black is beautiful, and they added the vanilla to it and put it. I'm not sure.
If that's the case, then because the Master Blend series was, I mean, they barrel aged the Master Blend series for longer.
Yeah.
So if they already, I can see what you're saying. Like if they already had the Master Blend beer readily available and had enough to take some and then blend it with the vanilla, that might be. That might be the case.
At the time when I bought it, I didn't ask, but that would have been a good question to ask what the base beer was, because usually you do have to have a base beer that's been barrel aged before you can throw it in again with the vanilla and everything else that you do. So I don't know.
I think the alcohol of the Master Blend was right around 14% as well, so right around the same ABV. So, yeah, that would be interesting to know if that's what they did. A lot of beers do that. You know, they have the base barrel aged beer, and then they'll add other flavors. Like there was another version of this. I bought a can of it as well. It was barrel aged Norwal, but it was a toasted s'mores flavor. So I'm sure it's just this exact beer. Then they add the other ingredients, the graham cracker, marshmallow flavor in there.
And you have to wonder, something like that's going to maybe be too sweet and cloying, but you don't know until you taste it.
Right. And I didn't think it was too bad. I tried that one a couple months ago.
And it was okay. Good. Did you think it was good? Do you think it was very good?
I thought it was really good. I think I kind of like this one better just because, just like with the Bourbon County, the OG is always, for the most part, one of my favorites. You get all these variants. They start adding all these different flavors. If you're a barrel purist or if you love your barrel-aged stouts, typically you want the original is going to rank higher because you get more of the barrel, you get more of those flavors. You start adding all the different stuff in there, it kind of mutes the barrel notes, and then all you taste is whatever the additive is. So, Toby, come here. So yeah, this is really good. I'm trying to kind of rub the glass a little bit, see if it'll warm up and see if it develops. Question about yours. So, I mean, I know we've done this before, and you've had other Black is Beautiful beers from that case over the years on some of these examinations. That one doesn't have an issue with the carbonation, but over the years, you have found that some cans do have carbonation issues, correct?
I think I had at least one that I can remember, maybe even been two, that the carbonation was not as intense, and because of that, it was almost like what you were getting is the straight beer without much, it didn't have no carbonation, but it didn't have enough to really carry it. So it was like you were getting, trying to think of an example, you were getting the taste of the beer, but it wasn't as good because what the carbonation does, it allows the beer to kind of spread out and all the flavors to come out. So it had the flavors, but they were not integrated well because of the less carbonation. But most of the ones I've had, and again, this is, I have one left now after this, but for the most part, I've been pretty happy with the ones I've tried. And I don't know what the limit is, because until you try one that you don't really start getting past the point. We've discussed this too. I have those Brooklyn. What are the Brooklyn ones that I have? Two of them.
Black chocolate or the?
No, the one that's got the champagne yeast. I have Black Ops. Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two of those from 2016. So this October, those will both be 9 years old. Now I don't know where do you feel the limit is? I mean, is it 10 or is it?
I wouldn't go over 10. I think anytime now, soon.
Okay.
Because I mean, they're going to be good, but the longer you hold on to them, once you get over 9-10 years, I feel like you're the risk of it going bad or the carbonation or something not being right.
Right. There's more stuff that can go wrong the longer you go. I agree with that too. I do.
I would say really probably, I mean, just based on the literature that the breweries put out and what they recommend, and then what I've experienced personally, I would say 5 years is probably the best age, because a lot of like Goose Island, like the Bourbon County, they say 5 years, I think, for theirs. Anything over that, it may develop a little bit, but at a certain point, it's going to start to decline. So at 5 years, you're pretty much guaranteed, I think, to get the maximum benefit without a high risk of like spoilage or loss of carbonation and flavor and stuff like that. Because 5 years is a long time. Something sitting in a bottle, it's already been barrel aged, and it's sitting on your shelf in your cellar, wherever, for an additional 5 years. Like, I don't know how much better it can get than that.
What I have done with it, it was in my cellar, and about 2 years ago, I put them into the refrigerator. So they're both being fully refrigerated. So maybe refrigeration helps it when it gets whatever.
Yeah. I would just be worried about, mostly like the carbonation and like with sour beers, I think they age better longer because of the like that beer we had from Trillium, that barrel aged sour beer that we had when I was down there visiting you. That one was
that was really
old.
That was really good. That one held up very well.
Yeah, that was fantastic. But yeah, I feel like barrel aged stouts in particular, 5 years is probably as good. They'll develop at least for 5 years, maybe more. But if you're paying good money and you're sitting on something for that long, like me personally, I wouldn't want to risk going over
I'm in agreement. If it were to go bad, I would feel really bad, and it would be.
So I would drink those soon. Those 9-year-old beers soon.
Maybe I'll have one if we do another examination next Saturday. Maybe I'll have it then. I don't know.
Ron, yeah, absolutely, man. We'll this was completely random, spur of the moment. It wasn't, like anything that we planned out, so I didn't post the link. But as soon as we are wrapping up here, I'm going to post the link in the chat. So you, Miscellaneous, anybody in the chat that wants to hop on and chat, absolutely go for it. And Miscellaneous has a Utopia. He said he's not going to drink that today. He's actually coming up here in September, so I'm going to get to meet Miscellaneous up here in the Boston area. They'll probably meet Bumpy and maybe Tanner and Eric and all the other people up here, but he's planning a trip up here. I think it's September. I don't remember the exact dates, but
that's good.
And I think he was going to try to bring one of the Utopias up here, like ship it up here, so when it gets here, we could all share it. And
sounds great.
But
I think Jean-Pierre is in New Jersey again, but he hasn't tried to contact me. So
I haven't talked to Jean in a while, but that's what I heard, was that he moved back to New Jersey to be closer to family.
At some point, I'll meet him, but it's we'll have to see what happens. Whatever.
Well, Michael, I'd love to play. Well, we can talk later, but I'd love to come back down to Brooklyn too. That was a hell of a weekend.
That was a dynamic visit. That was really fun. It was fast, but it was fun.
Yeah. So is yours developing as it warms, or is it still? Mine is definitely changing a little bit.
I think I'm getting more of the bourbon now, but you're still getting the vanilla too.
Right.
It's good.
Mine, the big thing I notice on mine is I'm getting like a cola note now, like a cola nut or like a cola, not like sweet Coca-Cola, but just a little bit of that cola aroma. You remember the Bourbon County cola variant, the Coca-Cola variant?
Yes.
It didn't have any actually any Coca-Cola in it, but it had like different spices in it to kind of resemble cola. I'm kind of getting that a little bit now.
That was one I did try. That was one of the variants I tried. I liked that one.
I did
that
too.
Was good. And I don't like all the variants. I've had mixed reactions to the variants, but some have been good. I think I mentioned this to you. I'm not sure. When the last beer tasting we had, or two ago, maybe it was the last one, Doug gave me one of the Sir Isaac Newton, the Fig Newton one from 2022. I think you did have it, and you like that one, right?
I
So
love that one because you already get the dark fruit notes from the Bourbon County. So to add the fig in there, in addition to that, it was just like it magnified the barrel notes. It was very complimentary. It didn't mask the barrel notes. That's one of my favorite variants, actually.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. The ones that end up failing are ones where the variant taste goes over the base beer, because the base beer is what they're featuring. The variant is supposed to enhance it. If it doesn't, then it's a failure.
A lot of people like the coffee, the Bourbon County coffee variant. It's one of their favorites. A lot of people I've talked to, they say that because they really like coffee. Me personally, the coffee one is one of my least favorites because coffee is such a strong flavor and it masks all the bourbon.
Ian has shown up. Hello, Ian.
Ian, cheers. He probably could have joined.
Like you said, this came
about today. It was so rare.
It wasn't something we were sitting on or anything. So I mean,
well, we'll post the link, Ian, when we wrap this up here in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. And if you want to hop on and hang out for a bit, you're welcome to. Let's see. So yeah, I guess we kind of keep talking a little bit about the beers, but whenever you're ready to throw out a rating and final thoughts on it, go for it.
Okay. Nothing in it warming up has added anything new, although I could take another couple of sips and see maybe there's something.
Mine's getting a lot better, actually. The more I sip on it, and maybe it's just the alcohol going straight to my brain. It's making me think it's better than it is, but
I'm still getting the bourbon. I'm still getting the vanilla. I'm still getting the oak, and it's all well balanced together. So I'm happy with the way it tastes. And the alcohol is still very well masked. But I guess maybe as it's sitting and warming, its maskability is dropping a little. I'm getting a little bit of booziness now that I didn't get at the beginning when it was colder. I don't know if that ever happens with these beers. I guess it probably does as it warms up.
Most beers, boozy. That's like malt liquor, right? You got to drink it ice cold because as it warms up, it gets boozy and very unpleasant. That's a much inferior style of beer. But I think all beers, though, for the most part, as they warm up, you're definitely going to taste that alcohol a lot more. But when you have a nice barrel-aged stout like we have, that's not a bad thing. But if you're drinking a lager or an IPA or something along those lines, or a malt liquor, you definitely don't want it to get warm on you.
I'm going to give you a number, but I'm going to take a little digression because when I was in Greece, the only sad part about the beer that's there, it's not that it's bad. It's just that if you want to have something different, it's very hard to find anything except Pilsners and lagers, and they're all pretty much very similar in what they are. So
didn't you find a black lager?
I had one dark one, which was, and I would say compared to ones I've had here, it wasn't as good, but it was okay, and it was at least a change. I think I gave it a B or B minus, so whatever. It wasn't bad, but there's a lot of different brands, and they're all very similar, and they're very similar to the ones that we have here, the macros that we have here, and I think our macros actually are better. Which I'm not a fan of the macro beers, but it was okay. And if you're hot, they're very refreshing. So it's not like I didn't, I had several, but Greece is not a great brewing nation, so that's not.
I would say for lagers, probably like European lagers, Britain and like
Holland,
Germany, Holland too. Those are probably the best places to get your really good lagers and pilsners.
Right. So Greece is
Italy does good with like pilsners,
but
Birra Moretti and Peroni and beers like that.
But if you just need a beer because you're hot to just wet your whistle, the Greek beers were fine. There was nothing wrong with them. And if I was rating them, they were more in the C group than anything else. But they were okay. I mean, nothing. Yeah. And I did have an IPA. I had one IPA that I tried.
How was it comparable to like something you would get in the U.S.?
It was like substandard IPA.
Was it like West Coast, like really bitter?
It was like, do you remember the old East Coast that we had? It wasn't grapefruity. It was more like it was like hoppy first, but not citrus fruit, more just like hops as the lead thing.
Like
And it really,
yeah.
trying to think what would be comparable that I've had. I don't know. It seemed like
arrogant bastard, maybe, where you get the bitterness, but there's not really any flavor associated.
Okay,
with
but it was lower alcohol than that. It was like a 6% thing. So it was just like a straight IPA. Wasn't bad though, but I mean it was okay. I mean, they were just trying to get into the market, I guess, and trying to brew one. And I figured I can't go wrong trying one. So I liked it. All right, let me take another sip. I'm going to come up with a number for you. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm going with a 96.
Oh, okay. That's funny because I was thinking of a number for mine, and I was going to go with a 96 as well. I mean, which is a solid A. Both of our solid A, but I can't give it 98, 99. I can't get into that world-class range because it just, I mean, Bourbon County is just on another level. And I know, there's a lot of people out there that hate on Bourbon County because it's macro owned and whatever, but they don't screw around with the Chicago location, which is where all the Bourbon County comes out of. And they just do it the best. I mean, Founders used to do a really good job. They probably still do. I don't get as much Founders as I used to, but the Goose Island, Bourbon County line, as far as barrel-aged stouts are concerned, I haven't found anything better than it. I have found something comparable to it, and it's very limited, and that would be like Treehouse stuff, like some of the stuff that we've had as well. I would consider their barrel-aged stuff up there with Bourbon County, but as far as like distribution and availability to the nation.
At the last beer tasting we had, we did 3 barrel-aged beers at the end. Miscellaneous is down on Founders. He's not the only one. He's not the only one. So I mean, they seem to have taken a downward turn. So I'm in agreement there. But I had one from Three Floyds, which you said you've had. Trolls, and it's not top level, but at that I gave it a 98. So it was within 1 point of the highest thing that I personally give.
My only gripe with the Trolls is that it was very thick. It was syrupy. It had all the great. It was very like compared to the Bourbon County, the body was really on the high side, and it kind of lingered.
It did kind of coat your tongue and whatever. And it was 13%. So,
but it was good. I mean, I think I gave it. I mean, I reviewed it on my channel years ago. I think I still gave it a 97 or 98, but I do remember it being much heavier bodied than like a Bourbon County or like the Norwal barrel aged stout that I'm drinking now. And I do like a full bodied stout. Obviously, that's what a stout's supposed to be. But there's a difference in having full body and full flavor and being like, maple syrup consistency.
No, I agree. If I had to choose between it being thick or it not being, I would rather it not be, like that. But you get what you get and whatever. Right. She had the other one, which you could only get in Chicago, that Goose Island, Shamrock, whatever it was. And it was up in the same. Look, it seemed
but that wasn't even. I remember seeing your picture there, and I asked you about it. My jaw dropped. I'm like, that's not even a Bourbon County stout. It's Goose Island, but it was called what? Goose Island Shamrock Stout.
Shamrock Imperial Stout.
And it was a barrel aged stout.
Barrel aged, and from what she said, it's actually produced by Bourbon County for Goose Island. So in other words,
but that's crazy. I think that's the only stout that I've heard of from Goose Island that's barrel aged, just like the Bourbon County, but it's not a part of their Bourbon County lineup.
And you notice it was a 12-ounce bottle. It wasn't in the other bottle. And again, it was 98 or 99, depending on if you like the exact beer. It was extremely good. And the other one that finished just behind was the variant from Holland, Michigan,
For anybody out there that's curious, Goose Island Beer Company Shamrock Stout. You see the bottle there. I doubt anybody out there watching will ever be able to find it, but that if I see it, I would.
Well, according to my friend Linda, she thought it only is sold in Chicago. So in other words, that probably cannot be found outside.
So how did you end up with it?
She had her children lived there. In other words, the other person from she brought it back with her. So and that's one good thing about having people who travel to places where you otherwise wouldn't have access. So, when Bourbon County comes out, there's always the proprietor's one, which never goes any further than Chicago.
Only Chicago, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good thing for the people in Chicago. It's not a good thing for you and me or everybody else in the rest of the country. Also, you saw there that the reserve of the Dragon's Milk finished lower, but it still made a representative thing. Again, that was only 11%, so it was lower. See there.
That's I'm assuming he's talking about
in Illinois. So I guess you can probably get it in Southern Illinois as well. But I mean, it's a statewide thing. It's not distributed nationally, kind of thing. If you ever see that or know somebody, you should try it because it's as good as all the other stuff we're talking about.
Yeah,
it's very good.
That was number one. That won the whole thing, right?
It tied. That tied with the trolls. So maybe the people in my beer tasting like thicker stouts. I mean, that's possible. But they do like more, and mine was the first one of the three. So maybe sometimes when it's the first one you taste, maybe you give it a little edge more than you would. And then,
or maybe on the other end, after
it can go either way. It can go either way. You never know how it's going to go.
As you start feeling, getting loosened up a little bit.
You say, hey, that was good. This one's even better. That kind of thing. All right, so 296s are certainly,
Yeah. So I know Ian and Ron and maybe Miscellaneous are wanting to hop on. So we can go ahead and wrap it up since we've given our ratings.
Okay.
Two very good beers or excellent beers. The Black and Beautiful, I think the lowest you've ever given it was like a 9. I think that might be the lowest. You always give it between like a 96 and a 99. I think early on, like one of the first ones we ever did when you first tried it, I think you gave it a 98 or 99. But that was years ago.
As time goes on, and again, between now and then, we've had so many other ones that maybe that drops the rating a little bit too. The other ones have slipped ahead.
Right.
And, I try to be fair, All right, so let's say goodbye to the group and come back and hang out with everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I am going to copy and paste the link right here. In the live chat because we're going off air, so you can grab it up if you want. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Of course, this was totally random, spur of the moment. I'm surprised we had anybody watching at all at 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon with no notice, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you, Michael, for joining me. So we'll end it there. 2 excellent beers from 2 great breweries, 96s across the board. That'll do it for this live examination of barrel-aged stouts on a Saturday afternoon, and hopefully we'll do this again soon. Until then, everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.